Amy and I are on our way up to the Meadows. I'm going to do a little racing today. It's Thursday morning, and look at what I found. Not just Starbucks. Tell them, Amy. Tell them. The Christmas cups are here. Favorite time of year is here. Starbucks has officially noted that on November the 6th, it is Christmas season. Now, and there's nothing worse than going somewhere. You ever hear somebody say, I don't like to stay in hotels because I don't sleep good? I usually sleep pretty good everywhere, but I've noticed this year I haven't slept the greatest a number of times throughout the summer. I don't think it's stress or I don't know what it is, but I just haven't had a great night's sleep. And last night I did have one. And of all places, I'll tell you why. So I don't have many vices. I don't drink that much. You hear me talk about Moscow Mules. I might have a couple. Maybe 3 or something, but I never, I don't remember the last time. That's not true. I do remember the last time I was drunk. It was at the Lexington sale about 5 years ago.
That was not the last time.
Is it what? The last time I was intoxicated?
4 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
No,
okay, I dare you. Tell me an earlier time. I'm telling you, it wasn't. So, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, things like that. I just don't. I just don't. I do like decent food, and when I stay somewhere, I like to stay in a nice hotel. I don't know why. Maybe it's just wired into my brain. So when I was looking at hotels, I found this, and in Harrisburg, it's kind of a stalwart. Everybody kind of stays at the Best Western Premier, right? It's a little Irish pub there and whatever. And I just wanted to stay a little bit off the beaten path. I told you guys, this year felt different. When I came to, I can't put my finger on it, but when I came to Harrisburg, it just felt different. And not necessarily in a bad way. I just wanted to be off the beaten path, hang out with Amy and just look at horses and relax all week. And our clients, but we met them at the sale, we went out to dinner, and then back to the hotel. So as I was looking for hotels, and this was only predicated also because the Best Western Premier was completely sold out when I finally called that. That was part of it. But as I searched for hotels, I'm looking at this king size bed, big room, and there's a big tub in your room, like a, what do you call it? Like almost not like a jacuzzi tub, not quite that big, but it was a Ramada. Not necessarily a place I generally stay, but I'm not indifferent to it. I booked it. We went there, and it's been great all week. I will tell you this: if you go to Harrisburg, I don't know where it's at. It's 10 minutes from the sale. It's a Ramada Harrisburg Hershey is what it's called. I don't know what it'll be like next week or next year. All I can tell you is this week, it's actually been very, very nice. Why are you sighing? You hate stories, stupid.
It's not, no, it's just 3 minutes. Like, are you getting some sort of star reward or something?
For what?
For advertising the Ramada?
No, I just felt that I was going to tell everybody, listen, when somebody does a good job, I'm going to tell them they did a good job. And whether it's you or our caretakers or the Ramada, did a good job. I was very happy. I had a great sleep last night. I woke up sharp. Now, I woke up to a number of people talking about the sale being down, or not as many people showing up, or too many horses being bred, which are all very fair arguments. That's fine. It was light at the sale. It was. Call a spade a spade. It was a little light at the sale. Some people opted to stay home. Maybe it was the Canadian dollar. Maybe it was people worried about the border. I have no idea.
There's a lot of factors.
A ton of factors.
Also,
I'm going to tell you my 2 cents. Now, if you're on Facebook, you probably already know my 2 cents. We've been very clear about it for over a decade, most definitely since we've started the stable. Here's my 2 cents. We don't necessarily have a shortage of horses. We have a shortage of owners. And the fact of the matter is that I had one owner message me a long text today, right after I posted that. And I can assure you, many of you out there were in the same boat, and many other people are. The reality of the situation is trainers are great people, and they love their horses, but when it comes to communicating with human beings, not so good at it, at all. And the reality is, if I'm telling you that horse racing, it's not necessarily just in the wagering business. It is. That's a byproduct of racing. To get to to get to racing, you have to have owners. You have to have clients. You have to have people that want to partner with horses with you. And you can't do that treating people like that. The one thing I learned, all those years ago, it seems so silly, that small little snapshot in my life where we almost lost everything in Ontario and I went into politics for a very short time. The one thing I learned, knocking on doors and talking to people in the general public, one, they had no idea that horse racing existed, and two, the expectations of you and me and everything. You just heard me talk about the Ramada. I will definitely stay there next year, right? You get treated well and you are able to buy a good product, you're more likely to talk about it. You're more likely to tell other people about it. You're more likely to buy another one or come to it again. Simple hospitality. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, but the way that most owners and clients are treated in this game, if those trainers ran a restaurant, they would never have anybody come in, or at least return. And that isn't out of sheer ignorance or carelessness. We just don't know. The problem we have in our industry is no horse shortage per se. It's an owner shortage. And we have an owner shortage for two reasons.
There was a horse shortage.
Yes. Well, no, the other guy said there was too many. But when you look at people that can't fill cards, there's a horse shortage.
Yeah. Racing.
All of this is indicative of one thing. This is all predicated by one thing. We don't have enough clients. We don't have enough clients because we don't advertise and market ourselves, one, for what we really are, which is an entertainment product. And two, we don't take good enough care of them. Listen, we lose clients too. This is an expensive game. Maybe things don't work out. But if I treat you the best I can, you're more than likely to come back. Or at least go to another trainer, at least stay involved in horse racing. Now, I love this game. And I want to see it succeed. But the way that people act about this industry from the stakeholder standpoint, the jurisdiction, the commissions, the horsemen's associations, they say, yeah, we know we gotta do this, we gotta do that. Then when I hear people talk about low takeouts, that's all part and parcel to what we have to do. There's very few of our clients that are just horse people that I don't even really know what a 14% takeout is. I assume that's the rake from the overall bets that they keep. And if I'm going to be completely ignorant to the situation and naive again, I don't know what it was before. That's the candles on the cake, right? But you have to bake that cake, and to do that, you have to be able to bring clients in to own horses, bring them to the track, race them, and have people wager on them. All of this is important. These are all important components. I'm not trying to say that wagering isn't important. Of course it's important. But we got to get people in to build the product. And I know that people are interested in horse racing when you break it down and show them it's not maybe as expensive as they thought. It is still expensive, but not as expensive as they thought. And again, if it's divided by up to 100 people, what the thoroughbreds are doing with micro shares also, that's an avenue that can be explored. Not one that we have yet, but one that could be explored. But getting the general public involved in horse ownership is the key. And it's the key because those people are the ones that generally come to the track. They bring their families, they bring their friends, they tell you all about, they tell all their social media contacts about the fun they had at the racetrack or the experience they had at the burn, and that falls on the horse people. Squarely on the shoulders of the trainers. So how do we get to where we need to be? Well, it's very simple. You simply need to help the trainers. Help them understand what their role is. The simplest way I ever did it was try and put yourself in other people's shoes. You may have been out there and sent me kind of a snarky email after a horse race bad. I didn't fire right back. I'm an owner too. I understand how angry we can all get when a horse doesn't race well. Things don't go our way. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Try to be polite. I tell my son and my daughters, although Addie's not quite old enough, you always open the door for people and hold the door open for people. Be polite. You do one little thing, you're more apt to do another thing and another thing. So this isn't to you, because you are our clients, and we're always trying to do more. We're always trying to do better. But it is a message to the industry who seemingly isn't in a hurry to do better. If you are, you're doing a poor job of it. No, I'm not trying to sit here and preach that fractional ownership is the way to save the industry, but it is one way to try and start to save the industry. I can tell you that right now. So a little bit of a happy rant. Got my Christmas cup. I'm driving up to Thursday. See, today is broodmares, weanlings, stallion chairs, things of that nature. So, not really our cup of tea or coffee, so to speak. Not what we need. That's not to say we would buy a weanling if it was rightfully priced. What? I will. But I will tell you this, it's been a great week here. Another sunny day, a beautiful week. This is the weirdest feeling I've experienced this year after year after year for a decade or more. Or much more than a decade. Possibly 2 decades of coming to Harrisburg. It just feels different this year. Maybe I'm excited about what's on the horizon. I can get back to doing some of the marketing advertising that Kelly and I did when we first started, going to places, obscure places, and doing seminars and talking to people and writing articles. I can get back to doing that because I love that. And I know that this is a slow process for us too, the business side of the stable. Bear with us. It is getting better, and it will get better. Now I want to get to a place where, I'm like you, many of you people, you'll scroll through Facebook and, at the end of the evening maybe, find something you like. Actually, the Facebook photo that I put up there was something I liked. The little thing that I bought, the little figurine thing. But it should be as easy as that to get involved in horse racing. And we all need to get to a place like that. And when it comes to John and Nishan, I know they understand the same thing too. And we will. We'll get there together. Anyway, enough with the talk about this. I've written about this 100 times over the last decade or more. I've talked about it on videos. I've made videos about it. I just wanted everybody to know my position. When it comes to horse racing, we need more owners. It is supply and demand. You're 100% correct. And another component of it is because there's a multitude of them. How do we get people there? Then how do we keep people? How do we retain people? My position on the stable and horse racing is simple. We have a product where people can feel comfortable because we built that comfortable community inside the stable. People can budget however they like. And if they're not comfortable with what they see, they can get out whenever they like also. Or get back in. But our clients generally come to the track, right? They drink the beer or the beverages at the track. They'll have lunch at the track if it's available or fit. That's on the track.
That's a whole nother problem.
That's a whole nother problem. That's on the track. But when you're there, you usually gamble also. And I know you do. Because there isn't a stable more overbet than the stable that's here on planet Earth. And I don't know how you let Tally the Tab go off at 2-1 on them. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, we need to bring more new clients in incrementally on their budget, allow them to feel comfortable, immersed in our industry, get them in. They become owners, they come to the track, they eat and drink at the track, something that's rare these days. They wager on our product. By wagering on our product, maybe they feel comfortable wagering on other people's horses too. So now we've entered into a business arrangement with the racetracks. If you come to the track, especially if you're in Ontario or many other places, you have to walk through or beside a casino to get in. You're more apt to stop at the casino, maybe play a hand of blackjack. Roulette, who knows? I don't know. Slots. But by bringing our clients in a way that they feel comfortable, you open up doors that they wouldn't have. Many of you that maybe have stopped at those casinos would never go to a casino or rarely go to a casino otherwise. So again, horse racing is doing something that even the casinos can't do. Bring people into their doors that they otherwise could not. These are all dialogues to have, but this is the way forward for this industry. But it all revolves around a few little key points. One of them is hospitality. I've made my errors, I've made my mistakes, but I do the best I can to make sure that everybody feels comfortable at our barn, wherever that barn may be. And our trainers and our caretakers, they all know that also. So enough about that. Now you have it. It's my Christmas rant. Amy's just not ready for Christmas yet. I know my mother is at our house right now with our kids, decorating what could be the Christmas tree. Most definitely putting up Christmas decorations. It's my favorite time of year. So, Harrisburg, the yearling side of it is for the most part over in 2025. The sale season is over in 2025. I think we did some very, very good work. I know a lot of people were disappointed they got shut out on History Hanover. Put yourself in everybody else's shoes. I'll be as honest as I can. We were going a lot higher on History Hanover. And when it happened, when the hammer dropped at $27,000, everybody that was involved in that process, there was 7, 8, 9, 10 people to begin with. Obviously, they wanted all the shares they could. So that's what happened with History Hanover. You can't really blame them. If you went somewhere thinking you were going to buy a pair of shoes for $80 and bought them for $27, then you'd be less likely to. Well, you wouldn't really give them up anyway. You wouldn't really let people buy into your shoes. So it's a bad analogy in that regard. You know where I'm going with this. But it's been a great sale. I appreciate everybody helping out, participating. A lot of the horses are sold out. Not all of them, though. We do have some shares left in some of them. And I don't know if Landlubber has any more shares on the site. I'll have to look. Obviously, the Pacer, and again, you fooled me. I really thought that the Stay Hungry Pacer that we put up for $13,000 would be the first thing to sell out, but you fooled me. I guess it was a Pacer, maybe because it was Pennsylvania. I have no idea. But he will sell. He's a beautiful horse. We have day 4 today. Not a whole lot we're looking at. But on day 5, we do have racehorses. We've got to the portion of this video where I will talk about putting together a group of people to buy horses. I've already sent an email out to you on our in-house platform just saying, listen, we are looking for horses. I have about 5 or 6 on my radar, one in particular, and these are a little more expensive horses, but horses I think will really, really play a major role moving forward in the stable and what we do here over the next 3, 5, 12, 18 months. So that's what's on the docket for the rest of the week. Yes, I'm going to drive 3 hours up to the Meadows, get our horses raced today, drive 3 hours back to the Meadows with Amy, and then go to the sale to conclude Harrisburg 2025. The yearlings are over, the racehorses are not. They're still up, and we'll be there tomorrow. Last night, tally the tab, as I was saying, I was politely trying to tell everybody I didn't think there was a way that she could possibly lose, but our other horses did not race great all week long. So was there a virus in the barn? Was something up? I don't know. I had asked Jason yesterday before the horse ever raced. I said in the morning, could you please draw an SAA test on this filly to make sure that she was healthy? Because I was worried after the results of some of the horses that maybe she wasn't. We had found out that Greatest Ending, who hadn't in a long time but did tie up on, what day was that? Monday? On Monday, I think. Greatest Ending? Tuesday? Monday or Tuesday, whatever day he raced. he actually did tie up decently also, so it'll be a couple of weeks getting that back down. I knew there had to be something up. He's just such a finicky horse, whether it was the weather or whether it was I doubt it was the new driver. I mean, he's just such a weird animal. Anyway, we'll get him squared away and back in to go soon enough. This is not his first go around by any stretch of the imagination with tying up, and we will get that cleaned up quickly. But when it came to Tally the Tab, the way she trained the other day, I didn't foresee her getting beat last night. I'd missed the race. We tuned in and watched the replay. We were going over the books, the book for Friday, and looking at some of the things we did. I was writing that email to you last night, and I missed the race. Tuned in for the replay. I wasn't surprised that she won quite handily. They said it was quite windy last night. I said, geez, 59-31 on the end of it. Is she okay? What did Aaron think? He said, no, she was great. It was just really, really windy out. It was not a nice night, and it appeared so on the line. But when you look at the body language of the horses, she was not the favorite in the race, I don't believe, going off. And there were a couple of more horses that were bet down also that looked very, very ordinary. So I guess when you put together what your eyes were looking at, it didn't really equate to the math of the mile. So yes, obviously there was something going on last night. But she raced good. We have a number of horses racing today. I'm eager to get behind Spitfire again. Looks like Money is in here today. A couple of others also. Raging Hanover is here today. So I wanted these. It was important that I could get up. I'm glad that it was on a Thursday that we could get up and I could go with these horses. It's not bad. I mean, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes from our house. It's 3 hours from here to the Meadows. So not a big deal at all. It says I'll be arriving at 20 after 12. First post is 12:45. All is well on Thursday morning. Sorry for the little rant, but I did have a number of people text me and say, what about this? What about that, Anthony? I don't know if, I think that wagering is down because of X. I think that, there's just too many horses being bred, Anthony. I just don't think that there's enough people that feel they can compete against some of the big trainers, and I don't buy into any of that stuff. The entertainment that we offer in this industry, and most definitely in this stable, is not derived or judged by the competition level we have in the track. I know where the horses have to go, and sure, I don't particularly enjoy racing against Ron Burke and Tony and Nancy and a whole bunch of other people all the time. But to buy good horses and to race good horses, you have to race against other good horses. I believe in what we're doing. I believe in our trainers. I believe in this industry. And I think once our industry gets away from the idea that somehow it's just slowly decaying. I hear a lot of older horsemen and a lot of people saying those types of things, and I could not disagree any more with them than I could right now. The industry as it was in the 70s and the 80s is dead. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a different thing. We were right square in the eye line of the general public back then. There were no computers, right? There's no casinos everywhere. You couldn't gamble on your phone because you didn't have a phone in your pocket back then. These are things that people have to understand when they talk about the heyday. That was a different universe, a different world. And it doesn't belong in this one. Entertainment, customer service, those are the things that are going to let this industry succeed. Understanding what the industry is the first step. Anyway, enough for today. I'll give you guys a quick video after the horses race when we're on our way back to Harrisburg. But for now, I truly appreciate everything you've allowed us to do. I am so excited about the way 2026 looks. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope. I always hope. Take care, everybody. Have a great Thursday. I hope it's as sunny wherever you are as it is right here.